Islam, a religion often regarded with mystery and misconception, is a rich background of beliefs, practices, and cultural traditions. Within this expansive framework, the role of women in Islam emerges as a subject of profound significance, deserving of careful exploration and understanding. This is an endeavor to unravel the multifaceted layers that define and shape the experiences of Muslim women, offering an exact perspective that goes beyond stereotypes and preconceived notions. In the pages that follow, we go aboard on a journey to explore the diverse roles that women play within the Islamic tradition. This is not merely an examination of religious doctrine. It is a narrative that examines into the lives of Muslim women, their aspirations, challenges, and contributions. The aim is to foster a comprehensive understanding that transcends cultural biases, inviting readers to engage with the topic with an open mind and a willingness to learn. Why is it essential to devote attention to the role of women in Islam? Beyond the realm of religious scholarship, this inquiry holds contemporary relevance. In a world shaped by globalization and interconnectedness, fostering an accurate understanding of Islam is critical. Misconceptions and misinterpretations about the role of women often lead to stereotypes that overshadow the rich diversity of Muslim women's lives. By exploring this topic, the aim is to contribute to a broader conversation, one that acknowledges the agency, resilience, and accomplishments of Muslim women while recognizing the intersections of faith and gender. Such an exploration is not confined to religious boundaries, but resonates with the broader discussions on gender equality, cultural diversity, and human rights. To understand the present, we must turn our gaze to the past. The early days of Islam, marked by the teachings of Prophet Muhammad PUH, witnessed the active involvement of women in various spheres of life. From Khadija Sa, the revered business person and first wife of the Prophet PBUH, to Aisha Sa, a scholar and one of the foremost authorities on Islamic jurisprudence, history illuminates the rich contributions of women. As centuries unfolded, Islamic civilizations provided platforms for women to excel in scholarship, literature, and governance. However, history also reveals periods of regression and the influence of cultural practices that diverged from the principles laid out in Islamic teachings. This historical context forms the backdrop against which we examine the status of women in Islam today. Approaching the topic with sensitivity and objectivity, it recognizes the diversity within the Muslim community. Islam is not a monolithic entity, and the experiences of Muslim women are as varied as the cultures they inhabit. In acknowledging this diversity and commit to presenting a balanced perspective that avoids perpetuating stereotypes or generalizations. This narrative is not an apologetic defense, nor a critique of Islamic principles. Rather, it is an exploration guided by a desire for understanding. It is an invitation to, regardless of their background, to board a journey that transcends the boundaries of preconceived notions and seeks to appreciate the depth and complexity of the topic. In closing this introduction, the stage is positioned for a comprehensive exploration of the role of women in Islam. Moving ahead, we'll discuss into Quranic teachings, historical accounts, contemporary challenges, and the triumphs of Muslim women across various domains. The intricacies of faith, culture, and gender, which illustrate the often overlooked narratives that shape the lives of Muslim women, shall be explored. Equal spiritual status, Quranic teaching, and their Lord responded to them, "Never will I allow to be lost the work of any worker among you, whether male or female. You are of one another." Surah Al-Imran 395. Expanded explanation. This verse underscores the equal spiritual status of men and women in the eyes of Allah. It emphasizes that both genders share the same ultimate purpose, to worship and serve Allah. The verse rejects any notion of spiritual hierarchy based on gender and reinforces the notion of collective responsibility in faith. Dignity and respect, Quranic teaching. O mankind, we have created you from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that you may know one another. Verily, the most honorable of you with Allah is the one who has the most taqwa, piety, righteousness, fear of Allah. Surah Al-Hujurat 49:13. Expanded explanation. This verse highlights the principle of human equality, emphasizing that distinctions based on gender, ethnicity, or social status are not criteria for superiority. The true measure of honor lies in piety and righteousness. It establishes the foundation for treating each individual with dignity and respect, irrespective of gender. Economic rights, Quranic teaching, and for women are rights over men similar to those of men over women. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:228. Expanded explanation. This verse acknowledges the mutual rights and responsibilities between men and women, emphasizing equity in economic matters. It rejects the notion of gender-based discrimination in financial affairs and lays the groundwork for the fair treatment of women in matters of inheritance, property, and financial transactions. Educational opportunities. Quranic teaching. Read in the name of your Lord who created man from a clot, a piece of thick coagulated blood. Read, and your Lord is the most generous. Surah Al-Alaq 96:1. Expanded explanation. These verses emphasize the importance of knowledge and education, addressing both men and women. The command to read is not restricted by gender, promoting a culture of learning and intellectual growth. It serves as an encouragement for women to seek knowledge and engage in educational pursuits. Participation in social and economic affairs, Quranic teaching, and the believers, men and women, are protecting friends one of another. They enjoin the right and forbid the wrong, and they establish worship and they pay the poor due, and they obey Allah and His Messenger. As for these, Allah will have mercy on them. Lo, Allah is mighty, wise. Surah At-Tawbah 9:71. Expanded explanation. This verse emphasizes the collective responsibility of believers, both men and women, in promoting righteousness and justice within society. It underscores the active participation of women in social, economic, and religious affairs, debunking any notion that women should be excluded from public life. Protection of rights. Quranic teaching. O you who have believed, you are forbidden to inherit women against their will, and do not make difficulties for them in order to take back part of what you gave them unless they commit a clear immorality, and live with them in kindness. For if you dislike them, perhaps you dislike a thing, and Allah makes therein much good. Surah An-Nisa 14. Expanded explanation. This verse addresses the issue of inheritance and highlights the prohibition of forcing women into inheritance against their will. It emphasizes the importance of treating women with kindness, ensuring their financial rights, and discourages any unjust actions in matters of inheritance. Maternal status, Quranic teaching. And we have enjoined upon man to his parents good treatment. His mother carried him with hardship and gave birth to him with hardship, and his gestation and weaning is 30 months. He grows until, when he reaches maturity and reaches the age of 40 years, he says, My Lord, enable me to be grateful for your favor, which you have bestowed upon me and upon my parents, and to work righteousness of which you will approve and make righteous for me my offspring. Indeed, I have repented to you, and indeed, I am of the Muslims. Surah Al-Ahqaf 4:15. Expanded explanation. This verse emphasizes the significant role of mothers in the upbringing of children and stresses the need for gratitude and kindness towards parents, especially mothers who undergo hardship during pregnancy and childbirth. It establishes the importance of recognizing and respecting the maternal status in Islamic teachings. Respect in marital relationships, Quranic teaching. And of his signs is that he created for you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for a people who give thought. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. Expanded explanation. This verse highlights the divine wisdom in creating the institution of marriage, emphasizing the concepts of tranquility, affection, and mercy between spouses. It establishes the foundation for mutual respect, companionship, and support within the marital relationship.